And a Merry Christmas to all my viewers of Comic Book Corner. Yes, it's me, Ghost Critic, back for probably the final week of the year, reviewing comics this week. Yes, it's Christmas next weekend, so there certainly won't be one then, but hopefully the following weekend there could be an extra special best and worst of 2010, but we haven't got to the end of the year yet. We have a stack of comics this week to get through, so let's kick off with number 60 of Green Lantern. Now, I have issues with this issue. It's good. It is. It's good. I think what they're trying to do is, I don't know if you can see the banner at the top, it's got the exclusive movie preview. So it's trying to get some new readers in on the back of the movie that's coming out very soon. So what it's done, straight away, your first page, we've got it's bringing everyone up to date basically. It's letting people know that we've had Blackest Night. It's telling us all about the spectrum of colour lanterns. It tells us about the introduction of the White Lantern, and that all these entities from the different spectrum colours of the lanterns have all seemed to converge on Earth. And one of the points that I didn't get is why Hal Jordan doesn't want them to be on Earth and he's trying to escort them away. At the moment, apart from the Butcher, the Red Lantern, they're not really doing that much harm. So, apart from taking over random individuals, civilians within the world, but I don't think that's such a bad thing. They're not harming them at the moment. So that was a bit iffy with it, but it's a good, you would think, jumping on point. Get some more readers in, which is a good thing. But for one point, which I will get to. Basically, this is an issue of Hal Jordan fighting Parallax Flash. Yes, the Parallax entity has bonded with Flash, and the fight scenes are fantastic. The two-page double splash page is just beautiful. Very dynamic, very, in your face, it packs a punch. So we have the whole banter going on between Parallax and Hal Jordan, and we have basically Green Lantern goading him to get out of Flash and come and bond with him. That's his trick in getting it out of the Flash, which is a good idea until our mysterious figure appears again. This is this dark figure that's been roaming around, picking up the entities and chaining them on a hitherto unknown planet, but we don't know who it is. Or maybe, people have worked out, I don't know. So, yes, Mystery Man enters, stops Parallax from taking over Hal just at the last minute. He realises that, hey, come on, let's wise up here. You've taken over him before. He knows what's expected now, and he'll probably have a lot more barriers and will be able to resist you this time. And just, and then the whole Lantern Brigade come in. You've got Larfleeze, you've got the blue, you've got the purple lanterns all come in to fight this mysterious figure. Unfortunately, they don't do very well, and it's more or less a trap for this mysterious bandaged figure to entrap three more of the Lantern entities. Just as that's going on, we get a brief page which kind of pulls you out a little bit between Sinestro. He gets a message that his daughter is being held hostage by the person, the origin of the ring he bears, and he's been demanded to come to where his daughter is straight away, and he just flies off. A little bit of a break in the action. I hope, or probably that will be fleshed out a bit in later issues, but the action goes straight back to this mysterious figure which is hell-bent on taking over all these entities. He is meant to be known to us, or at least to Hal. He says, I'm not a stranger, you obviously know who I am. We find out he is the keeper of these entities. And so you kind of think, well, this must be a good guy, but clearly not. Now, this is the point I wanted to pick on before. At the start I said this is a good jumping on point. Now the end can work one of two ways. Basically we have a character that the reveal is it's this guy called Krona. Now this, from what I've read and what I've heard, is a big deal. And if you have read comics for a long time, if you know the history of Green Lantern and have, you know, kept up with all the goings on in all the titles he's ever been in, you probably know who this guy is. So it might make sense to you that this mysterious figure is this Krona guy, or you're thinking, oh, that's a surprise, but a nice surprise. But if you're jumping on, this has no impact whatsoever. It's just a big bad. He's an evil character. He even says he's mad. Now, is he pissed mad or is he just crazy mad? We don't know. I think it's probably the former. But this is what slightly spoilt it for me. I've no idea who this Krona guy is, and I've been reading comics for quite a while. Not necessarily this title. And this is the double-edged sword that most comics have to balance very precariously on, in the sense that you want new readers to come on board and to feel comfortable reading the story, but at the same time you have to keep your existing readers entertained, and if that means bringing back characters from many years ago, then so be it. It was good. I enjoyed it for Green Lantern. It's waned a little bit lately. It's been dragging its heels, but this was a solid issue. You should go up and pick it up. Uncanny X-Force number 3. I was a little harsh on this last time. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one, but I'm certainly happy and glad with this one. We begin with the origin stories of what is the Final Horseman, and you know, it's perfectly done. They get a page each, but in that page you have their origin story, and it is just succinct, perfect, and the artwork through it is lovely. So what we have here is the Final Horsemen have seemingly defeated the Uncanny X-Force. Crikey, issue 3 and you're already defeated. But of course, this is the Uncanny X-Force. It's only issue 3. They're going to be able to fight back. And fight back they do in all their various ways. I mean, we have such gorgeous artwork from, I think that it's pronounced Apena or Apena. Throughout, and it's just lovely. I mean, there are some quite horrific and horrific artwork in there, in the sense that it looks, I mean, the decaying of Wolverine as he's fighting one of the Final Horsemen, it's pretty grim and horrific, but it's so beautifully done as well. So within that, we've got Phantom X using his mutant powers of projecting what he wants people to see, and defeating a couple of the Final Horsemen. And we have Betsy, who is dragged off by the Horsemen of the Apocalypse War into the spaceship that houses Apocalypse. And it's all pretty much action-packed, and the action is moving along very well. And in all this, you know, we've got the young Apocalypse. He is being advised by this mysterious Ozymandias character, and it is it's very well written, this part. You know, young Apocalypse does not want to kill these mutants, but obviously Ozymandias is the one pulling the strings, and he says, you know, you go ahead and sort it out yourselves anyway. You know, you kill the X-Force. They're weak, they're pathetic. And just forgetting that, you know, boss man, young Apocalypse, he may be, but still, he's the boss. Let's just disregard everything he says. So we end up with all but Deadpool and Warren on Apocalypse's ship now. And they're about to be transported, and we have the final image of Betsy entering the room where young Apocalypse is. And really, what is Betsy going to do? Is Apocalypse for that? Who knows? It's a very well written story by Remender here. I am thoroughly on board with this, and you should be too. Moving swiftly along, Batman and Robin number 18. The artwork is all over the place in here, and I don't know whose fault it is because it jumps backwards and forwards. Sometimes it's nice, it's appealing, and the next minute we have these horrible, ugly faces. Characters that are clearly young, looking like old men, and it's just, I mean, the cover isn't that much more exciting either. Or appealing. What we have here is it's the absence and her origin story, how she came to have this big hole in the head, why she has such a freak out with Bruce Wayne. It's all actually very cleverly done. There's I suppose a plausible, for a comic book, origin for the absence, and it's just this poor girl who wants a little bit of attention. She's been scorned by the Wayne, and she thinks by killing off a few of these new Batmen she'll get some attention. She'll be doing everything she can. Obviously Bruce Wayne is away recruiting new Batmen for his Batman Inc., you know, corporation, and she wants his attention big time. It's a good story, artwork's dodgy. Which we move on to Birds of Prey number 7. And the death of Oracle. I don't know if this is so much as the death of Oracle, rather than the death wish of Oracle, as we begin with Barbara Gordon entering a dark alley full of kind of drug addict thugs, I guess we would call them. She managed to, you know, hold her own for a time, but then obviously, you know, this woman's in a wheelchair. She can only be so badass, and then Batman swoops in and finishes the rest off. Barbara takes Batman off and gives him the tour of the new headquarters. And while all this is going on in the background, we have the girls partying, having a bit of a rest since coming back from beating up Shiva and all that nonsense. Last issue. This issue is, it's kind of a, I suppose it's a build up to something. Hopefully it's laying seeds for, you know, future storylines, and hopefully it will grow a bit better. I mean, the dialogue from Gail Simon is still very good. There are some nice humorous touches in these. There's some very touching moments between Barbara Gordon and Batman. The artwork's okay. I'm still picking this up. It's still an enjoyable read. We'll see how it goes. And to Brightest Day number 16. This is now focusing on the Aqualad side of the story, plus the Firestorm side of the story. We have Aquaman giving this Aqualad a bit of history about where he's come from, that he is in fact some sort of key that opens and locks the Bermuda Triangle and the forces, the underwater forces, and staving them off basically from infiltrating and invading dry earth. Of course, I mean, the cover is a little misleading. The old Aquaman versus Aqualad. It looks like they're going to have a big fight. And they kind of do, but really it's just Aqualad throwing a tantrum because he doesn't want to go off and save a load of people. How selfish is that? On the other side we have Firestorm, and they're trying to find out what is wrong with him, stop him from blowing up the universe, which it looks like he does at the end of the issue. Again, another mediocre issue. The artwork's fine enough. I hope this is going somewhere. I don't even know how long this title is meant to be lasting. Is there an end in sight, we wonder, and how are they going to wrap it up? Finally, and just edging into my book of the week, it's The Unwritten, and it's number 20. This is just a lovely book, and the thing with this, it can't get away with not having a decent storyline. A title that is based on stories has got to have a solid storyline that you are engaged with, that you're excited with, that you're going to want to come back again and again with. And this does it in spades. It really does. We're kind of in the middle of the Moby Dick arc here, and we get the relationship with Lizzie and Tom fleshed out a lot more. And when I say flesh, well, you'll have to read it to get that. We get a look into the history between them when they were children and they were playing and interacting in Tom's father's house. We also have a little snippet of Savoy, who admits that he has been bitten by ambrosia and he is gradually turning into a vampire. And we have some, you know, a little cute moment there from Lizzie who tries the whole crosses to see if they work. She wants to find some garlic, which is quite amusing. And in all this, Tom is following a big white whale, which is basically this little town they've gone to. They read Moby Dick as a town, as a community, to celebrate a year or a centenary or whatever. And eventually, as the story is being unfolded, Tom gets sucked into the book and transported to the universe of Moby Dick. Ends up on the ship, and oh, guess who is Ahab? Daddy Dearest. It's such a fun, exciting, inventive book to read, and I make it my book of the week because I so think more people should be reading this. Anyway, that's it for me this week. Have a very Merry Christmas. I will see you in the new year. Be good. I'm out of here.